Okay, let's see if this works. Ooh, man, I wish there was a better way to do this. I don't know that I want high def, but at least it pulls me farther away. Okay. Need to go to my studio. Video content. Where is it? Hello. Oh, I see comments. Yay. I was covering them. Yes. Oh my God. What a freaking time. Now you see why I wear filters after, because I don't have any makeup on. This is really taking me out of my comfort zone. So please bear with me. I'm going to try. This does give me the ability though to share my screen. Hello. Oh, yay. It's my first live on YouTube. I feel like I should celebrate. I have wine. Yay. I do need to delete this video though, where I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So that people don't delete. There we go. I understand it's forever. Thank you guys. Okay, real quick, so I can like figure out how many people are here. Will you tell me where you are coming in from? I love the one where you say it's not working. It's my favorite. I just deleted it forever. You can see like a bigger view of my office too. Man, this was a journey. Okay. TikTok was not being my friend today. Clearwater, Florida, Southern California, Mississippi, Boston, Louisiana. Yay. Okay. It's all working. Let me get out of all of my, private content, like, stuff that I don't want you guys to see on my screen. That way I can share my screen with you guys. I did, while I'm closing all of this, I did see somebody, I think I told you guys this before, somebody was asking about, or not asking, they were offering some insight on this next friend, private content sus. It's attorney-client privilege stuff. They were asking about the next friend doctrine, and I did try to do some research on that. I need to get in contact with a lawyer who thinks that that's actually a possibility, because I'm not seeing it on my end, really. Close this out, because from here, I can share my screen with you guys, which will give you guys a better understanding, potentially, of the documents. That is the good part about this. So make sure I don't have anything else. You guys get high definition view of my dogs working. Yeah, okay. Okay. Can you guys get them to be quiet? Okay. So 4 documents in total were filed today on the 6th. Let me go back to document images, and I can see. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. Oh, I have to pull these up, so because I can't pull up my email when I'm on here with you guys. Of course, now it's not going to work. Okay. All right. So the gist of it is the attorney for Britney Spears filed to be withdrawn today. And that's really important because he's her attorney. And what I was saying on TikTok before I realized it wasn't working is when you're in litigation, you have to, in order to be withdrawn from a case, you have to show the court that you can be with, I need to move this so you guys can see me. You need to show the court that it's not going to be like an issue for the person that you're representing. Usually what will happen if you're in litigation is you'll either get consent from the client to withdraw, or you'll file this motion like we're seeing here, a motion to withdraw. We saw this recently in the Erica Girardi case. And in that situation, the attorney said that like, hey, things are so bad, we've got to get out. And then magically things were repaired the next day and they withdrew their motion. Okay, so there was a proposed order that was filed as well. I'm trying to pull up this information. Let me see what the best way to do this is. If I do that, and then it's showing me that I can like pull in documents, but I'm not solo layout. Nope. Okay, well, I'll just tell you. So I haven't even looked at this yet because I've been dealing with all the TikTok drama. The order appointing, so first, is this what was, oh, he redacted it. (7/6/22). Attachment to application for appointment of counsel. So it's an application for appointment of counsel filed by Sam Ingham. I request appointment of counsel in this proceeding to represent Britney. And then he has an attachment that says appointment of counsel to, oh, he's requesting the court. Okay. Appointment of counsel to represent the conservatee is necessary to protect her interests because applicant, who is conservatee's current court appointed counsel, Ann Loeb and Loeb, which is the attorney for the firm that he works at, which is associated co-court appointed counsel for conservatee, have tendered their resignations. Said resignations are attached as Exhibit A and B, respectively, and incorporated by this reference. Applicant requests that said resignations be accepted effective upon the appointment of new court-appointed counsel. So what's important to remember in this is there's no one else that's able right now to, yeah, cat and stuff. It was just the fact that TikTok wasn't working was the TikTok drama. It just flustered me. I'm very flustered right now, which is why I'm tripping over all of my words. It's actually not my micro sipping of wine. So what he's saying is, listen, court, I'm appointed. I'm peacing out. I'm done. Late to join, but I'm so glad you're doing it live on YouTube. It was my only option to show up for you guys. This was it. I literally like pulled it together, figured it out really quick. I had paid for StreamYard at some point, I guess, or signed up for it. Luckily, because I tried to go live and YouTube was like, you can go live all you want to, but you're not going to see comments. So there is no one else to step into Sam Ingham's shoes right now. So that's what's important to note. And there are a number of hearings that are going to be held on July 14th. As it sits, we now have a accounting that's due to be approved by the court. Sam Ingham's original petition for Jody Montgomery to be appointed conservator of the person permanently, because right now she's just the temporary conservator of the person, for which Jamie Spears, as conservator, but co-conservator of the estate after the order appointing Bessemer Trust, as co-conservator, which they later withdrew. And we'll get into that. So Jamie Spears then filed recently, within the last week, the response to Sam Ingham's much earlier request to make Jody the permanent conservator of the person from temporary, with a request for an evidentiary hearing on the claims made by Britney at the June 23rd hearing date. We also have Bessemer Trust, who got appointed on the 30th after an order that was, a proposed order that was finally filed by Sam Ingham after a November hearing. Bessemer Trust has now moved to withdraw, and that needs to be heard on the 14th. Let me pull up. There are a number of hearings that will happen on the 14th. So why is that important? Because Britney's going to need some type of representation. My sweatshirt is funny. Yeah, Harvard Law, just kidding. I think it's funny too. Let me list. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different hearings that are set to be heard at 1:30 in Department 4 on July 14th. Petition hearing, petition hearing, petition hearing, petition hearing, petition hearing, appointment hearing, accounting hearing, petition hearing, authority hearing. I mean, so basically it's down to Britney. I think I can click on these. So basically it's down to Britney with no one except Jody versus Jamie and all his attorneys paid for by Britney. Well, everybody's being paid for by Britney. So that's important to note, right? Yes, Jamie's using her funds, as the New Yorker article said, to fight against her in all of this. But everybody's being paid for by Britney. The court will not, especially because Britney does not have competency. So let me explain this a little bit better, because I don't think I fully got through my thought earlier. When you're in the middle of litigation, you, generally speaking, in situations like this, you have counsel. And when you're not in litigation, your counsel can withdraw from representing you much easier. There's no court records, there's no notice requirements. If I no longer want to represent one of my big clients, or one of my clients, period, I can just let them know, unless there's a statute of limitations or something coming up shortly. Generally speaking, though, there's no governing body that's going to say, oh, no, you need to get authorization from me before you pull out. When you get into litigation, it becomes much trickier, because now you're talking about, when's the next hearing date? Will there be prejudice to the client? And in this situation, the court may look at Sam Ingham and say, hold up, we got to figure out who's going to be her attorney. We need to get them up to speed. This judge wouldn't even allow Britney to remove her father as conservator after Bessemer got appointed. So I'm interested to see how the judge ends up ruling. If the judge, somebody did say, is it possible that they do a continuance on the 14th just because the lawyer pulled out? Potentially for some of this, but I gotta believe that some of it's going to end up having some type of movement. I can't believe that they're going to continue all of this. I can't imagine. The evidentiary hearing's set. So Sam Ingham may just need to prep himself for the 14th and move forward. Whoops, that's not what I meant. Yes, it will be, though. It is going to be the same judge. No petition to end conservatorship. Nothing's been filed on that end. Nothing's been filed. There was speculation and news reports that Sam Ingham refused to file. No, I'm sorry. There was a news report that I saw, Twitter headlines or Twitter mentions, but discussion that Sam Ingham was upset because Britney said that she had never been told that she could. You like the feature? Yes. Britney said that she was never told that she could ask to end the conservatorship. Sam Ingham says, yes, of course I asked you. I told you that you could end this at any particular time and or asked to end it. And she was always okay with it. So then the attorney, I can empathize with being in the situation where your client has one public statement in 12 years. And it's like, all these people, not good. And the attorney's kind of left going, but I'm the one who represents you. I do think that the public is not happy with his representation, even outside of what Britney said. 12, 13 years later, you still haven't filed, it's taking you 8 months to file an order after hearing, basically appointing Bessemer Trust. No movement really there. I don't know. What do you guys think? So according to that article, and the new information, it doesn't really sound like that conservatorship was really all that voluntary. There are definitely two sides to this. What I'm seeing is there is a campaign, a PR campaign of sorts right now to try to quell some of the questions that Britney's testimony brought out. I shouldn't call it testimony because I don't know if she was sworn in. But it's interesting. Jody Montgomery came out with a statement today that was like, all these other people are resigning. I don't plan on resigning. I've got a great relationship with Britney, yada, yada, yada. I'm here to stay unless Britney wants me out. So I don't know, but there's clearly some PR stuff going on the other side. Her music manager resigned after what he said. He was told that Britney was retiring. I don't know if he is interpreting her words to say that she's retiring from the hearing or if he was told that behind the scenes. He also said, though, that he hasn't spoken to her in 2 years. So I'm interested to see what that's about. It's very interesting, very interesting. Real quick, I'll throw this on the screen for those who don't know. I don't speak on judges. I am a practicing attorney in the state of California, so I don't speak on judges. Some of these, y'all are spicy. I gotta be careful what I can throw on screen. What do you think is the answer? How can this be resolved? Well, now it feels like Britney's decision, this is speculation on my part, but it feels like her decision to speak at this hearing and have it be public has opened up many cans of worms. And so now what I hope doesn't happen is that the conservatorship works to put out all these little fires to keep the bus moving forward, because it doesn't seem like that's what Britney really wants, or though arguably they would say that it is in her best interest. What could happen in a perfect world for the people who are pro #Free Britney movement, perfect world, Sam Ingham gets out. Somebody replaces Bessemer Trust. Whoever replaces Sam Ingham moves to immediately terminate the conservatorship and gets her some type of evaluation. Yeah. Are you obligated as a lawyer to file paperwork if your client requests it, Stephanie? Getting texts from judges as I sit here. That's not true. Well, yeah, I guess it is. No, it's so hard because you're obligated to work in your client's best interest. You have ethics surrounding this that are so complicated. So this goes into that question of if your client says, I have goal A, but I don't want to do goal B. So in this case, like I want to file to end the conservatorship. I want to file to terminate the conservatorship. We are live right now, Shannon. We are live. I want to file to terminate the conservatorship, but I don't want to sit for an additional mental health evaluation, yada, yada, yada. Well, if her attorney said, if we file to end it, they will force you to sit for some kind of evaluation, then, and she says, I don't want an evaluation, but I want to end the conservatorship, what do you do? You know, so in those situations, while it sounds like it's simple and you just petition to end it, that could start a train moving that you can't stop, and you have no way of removing the ultimate like other goal of the client, which is I don't want to be reevaluated. It's tricky. When someone doesn't have as much money, I meant to click on a different one, but I'll answer this one. When someone doesn't have as much money as Britney, who pays for the lawyers to fight on their behalf and against them? I haven't dealt specifically with court-appointed lawyers in probate. But I would assume if you're in the probate department, it's because there's some kind of, it has to be out of the estate. It has to be out of the estate. I'm not aware of any like public funds that go to fight this kind of stuff. It's not, there are civil cases where public defenders get involved, or alternative counsel gets appointed. Sometimes in family law matters too, if there's like a contempt proceeding, but I'm not aware of like a pot of money that pays for court-appointed conservators or attorneys for conservators. Why did it take 2 years for him to resign? If she told him back then, well, I mean, I think he would argue that he thought that he could represent her. I don't know. Let me pull up while you have that question though. Let me see if there's any other. Oh, wow. There's like nothing. His resignation is one sentence that says, Sam Ingham hereby resigns as court-appointed counsel for Britney Jean Spears Conservatorship, effective upon the appointment of new court-appointed counsel. And the law firm hereby resigns as counsel for Britney Jean Spears Conservatorship, effective upon appointment of new counsel. Like, we are out. Not like a request, which is generally what happens, I would think. That's how I've always done them. Motion to withdraw. Let me see if I do know that there were additional documents filed. Let me see. Proposed order. A notice of hearing. That's it. Usually there's like a blurb. That's what a lot of people are saying. What's interesting though is the resignations are all separate and apart from each other. Like, I do think Bessemer probably tried to get out to save face. Like, we haven't even done anything. This seems like way more liability than it's going to be beneficial for us. So I'm out. This is all my speculation, obviously. I have no ties or anything to the case. The music manager, if he's hearing people on the inside saying she's retiring, we're not in this anymore, then why would he stay? What's interesting though is Jamie Spears is like, I am the anchor to this boat. I will not be swayed. I will not move. Jody Montgomery on the other side, I guess on her end, it would be interesting because she's now had all of these allegations lobbed against her. You know, I can't take my IUD out. I can't get married. I can't even drive in the car with my boyfriend. And now Jamie Spears files this motion, well, not a motion, a response to Jody's permanent appointment as conservator. And questions, what Britney said and like, listen, we need an evidentiary hearing. We're not quite sure if this Jodi chick's going to work out. Look at all the allegations. We got to figure this out. So I could understand on Jodi's end going, well, what do I have to lose? Like, I'll just stick it out and let the evidence show that I'm not, a horrible person, because if I withdraw right now, it could look that way. Yeah, Kim, Stacy, Variety article claims Kim K has offered to help. And there was some aspect of that like made it seem like Britney got the message and said, okay. We'll have to see. Is this listed as voluntary in the legal documents? I don't know specifically if it's listed as voluntary. I'm not sure on that part, but there are, Bessemer Trust has filed a document stating that they were told Britney signed off on this and that this was voluntary for her. So there is evidence to that effect. Do you think everyone leaving has signed some sort of NDA and won't speak about her? I think if there's an NDA, Britney's mentioned, but I think it's probably the conservatorship that's more sought to be protected in an NDA that would be signed with regard to this case. And I say that because it was really interesting to me that one of the Las Vegas residency, pursuant to the New Yorker article that came out this weekend, the Las Vegas residency was contingent upon her retaining her conservatorship. So that's really interesting to me. So I think that probably the end, and Iggy Azalea did mention something to the effect of she signed an NDA and it was for the dad, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but I think. Somebody said, ooh, good question. I don't know if it was. If it was listed as voluntary, would it make it easier to get out of? I don't think so. Voluntary or involuntary, she doesn't have capacity. And then we go back into that circular reasoning of, okay, so how does she regain capacity? And she needs to, sit for an exam. How does she get a new attorney to file for a petition to terminate it? Well, she's got to figure out how to get capacity. How do we get capacity? We sit for an examination. We got to figure all of that out. And it's just circular reasoning. Is there a risk that Jamie will be added back as conservator of her person? I don't see how there wouldn't be that risk. Anything could be possible. I'm not quite sure the circumstances specifically. None of us really know of why he was removed from the conservatorship a couple of years ago and Jodi appointed. I'll have to go back and look. But yeah, definitely possible. And if she doesn't have capacity, how can she sign for a freaking conservatorship? I know. It sucks. It sucks because, especially in this situation, because it's so public and people have then asked for it to be sealed. And there were allegations, speculations that Jodi and or Sam Ingham, before and or after, you can tell I'm an attorney, Britney's testimony or her statements made on June 23rd said something to the effect of, this needs to be sealed. We need to close this off to the public. Okay, well, now we need to make sure that this is sealed. Nothing else moving forward should be public. So the only information we have in this conservatorship is what the court or the attorneys have allowed us to have access to. And that makes all the difference here because we don't know the behind the scenes. I was getting to something with that. Maybe it'll come back around. It does not seem that a single person is telling Britney anything. The more isolated she is, the less competent she will sound. That's a great point. If you're judging competency based on her ability to make decisions, but you're not giving her the adequate information to make the decisions, or let's pretend that Sam Ingham's behind the scenes statements that are being bantered about on Twitter today, that he's told Britney that she can end the conservatorship, that she wanted it to be in place moving forward. She was okay with it this entire time. And just now she's telling him, well, if she doesn't have capacity, then was there something more that should have been done? Should they have had like an in camera, like court hearing where it's just Britney and just Sam, so that she is better advised? I don't know what the answer is to that. Hello. I'm going to be on here for like another 10 and then I'm going to go eat. You made it. We are live. You've never been on YouTube Live. I like YouTube Live, and because I feel like it's a good idea. You guys should go check out, because this is not like the professional setup that I would like for this to be, because I worked out and then I just like, this is not making me happy right now. I'm having to look at myself. And I threw on like cheap eyebrows and some mascara. I will do lives on here more often. But I want to shout out to Emily D. Baker. If you guys want like an in-depth, like line by line legal analysis on YouTube, Emily D. Baker is really good. And she's better at StreamYard than I am, clearly, but she throws up the documents, and she'll show you everything. I don't understand how to do that yet. Maybe I will. With all the separate things filed on the 14th, will all the motions go before the same judge on that day? Everything will be heard by the same judge. Whether or not things will get pushed, we don't know. I can't imagine that you would be able to have a full evidentiary hearing on the allegations that Britney made and 9 other motions. I can't imagine. What are the chances of her father and the others involved eventually being brought up on charges for all of this, assuming she manages to get out of it? I need to microsip. The chances, here's what has to happen in order for him to, I'm not going to talk about what needs to be proven, but what would first have to happen. Britney would have to figure out some way to end this. Then Britney would have to figure out with a separate attorney what has happened over the last 13 years. That jumps from civil to criminal. And a lot of people are asking that question. You're not alone. A lot of people are asking that question. It really depends. If there's any charges to be had, I will say that her filing a police report and calling 911 the day before the hearing is probably the start of whatever that wheel is. Yeah, she breaks everything down really well. Emily used to be a district attorney in Los Angeles County. She's been practicing for over 15 years. I don't think she practices anymore. I'm not positive on that. That's the main difference between she and I. She was criminal mostly, and she was a research attorney for, I think, the Superior Court down there. But I have more limited time than she does. She has a podcast. She does lives. She does like interviews on Bravo stuff. She's awesome. She's everywhere all the time. Great question. Do you think Britney will be in the courtroom on the next court date? I mean, I don't have any insight on this that's separate and apart from what you have. I think she would have to be. If Sam Ingham's motion, it's not even a motion to withdraw. It's a ex parte application to be removed as counsel, kind of. Appointment of counsel to represent. Application for appointment of counsel. I still don't think that's, Probate court form. I still think you need to file a motion to withdraw. I should message Emily Baker and see if she's with me on this, because he's filed a form. I really wish I could do, oh, is this it? Whoo, yay. Let's see if I can shrink this. That's not gonna work. No, I tried to share my screen. But it's specifically like a court form that says application for appointment of counsel. I still feel like you need to withdraw as counsel, though. I don't know what makes this different. Anyway, low. I don't think that, well, I mean, the chances of her getting one, I guess theoretically, the court could find somebody that would be willing to be appointed before then. I just don't think that there's any possibility of having an attorney it's July 6th. You're talking about getting an attorney that's court appointed from the probate panel, in court to be appointed soon before the 14th and get up to speed for 10 separate hearings that are going to be happening on the 14th. I just can't. I wonder if the photographer will have access to attend again. Yeah, who was that? What's his name? Andrew Gallery, I think. Yes, I don't know if it was the day of or the day before, but she did call into 911 to report conservatorship abuse, which is basically dependent adult abuse. I would think it would fall under the same thing. Yeah. So, but she was at the police station within those 2 days. There were paparazzi photos, ironically. Andrew Gallery. Thanks, Blanca. Subscribe to Blanca's life too. She does anti-MLM content and all kinds of other stuff on our YouTube channel. This is cool because I can like point people in the right ways. I'm just gonna kind of click on some before I get off of here. I would assume if she doesn't have the capacity, she would be considered a vulnerable adult. Can't she request a disability advocate? I'm not sure. I've never been a disability advocate or seen that. I know that there's CASA, child something special advocate. I can't remember what it's called. But I don't know. There was I think I talked about this a minute ago. There was a specific legal theory that an attorney and a couple other people have mentioned to me that I attempted to do a little bit of research on today, which is like the next friend standing doctrine, which is essentially if you're incapacitated, somebody else can file a writ of habeas corpus on your behalf to protect your interests. But what I'm seeing them filed on is specifically criminal proceedings for people in criminal court. I'm not seeing any standing here I didn't see any case law that would have court appointed special advocate. Thank you. I'm not seeing anything that would allow it in this situation, but I mean, my awesome moderators, Garnet and Lightem. I didn't look at this today to see if this was a possibility, but here's what I assume. And this goes back to what I told you guys before. There has been 13 years of this case going on. So, and a lot of money is at stake. And a lot of people care about Britney. She has a ton of fans. So, and there was a petition, don't forget, there is pending a petition to terminate the conservatorship set in November, filed by a fan of Britney. But I have to assume that all of the fans, and attorneys included, have looked at all possibilities of, different legal doctrines and guardian ad litems and things that they could do, or or ask the court to do, or different ways that they could get involved. Additionally, pretending that the fans she has no fans, or that they don't have the ability to do it. There's a lot of money at stake. So people with those interests, people that are looking for, a steady income and are willing to represent her in regards to a guardian ad litem or next friend standing or whatever, there's motivation on that side too. So I can't believe that after 13 years, there are still these options open that we just not to say that we aren't awesome, amazing people, but I just can't imagine that the 80 of us sitting here right now would be able to come up with, or whoever on TikTok would be able to come up with some notion. Rachel Hollis would probably tell me that's a limiting belief. It can attract the best and the worst kinds of people. Yes. I've never heard of a best interest attorney. Never heard of that. Thank you, Steph. Yes, court-appointed special advocate. Thoughts on her boyfriend. If it's a genuine relationship or if he's a part of this all, the conservatorship removes anyone that gets close to her. So why allow him in the relationship? Great question. I don't have an answer for that last part. What I will say is the conservatorship has used her relationships, I think, in some regard with men in the past to advocate for their need to be involved in her finances and all of that, because she could be subject to undue influence. But I think that's just replacing one for the same thing. Okay, so dad gets to make the decisions instead of Britney. I don't know. For complex, okay, so best interest attorney for complex, high conflict family cases. Interesting. I wonder. I'll look at it. Rachel Hollis, I know. Gotta throw it in. It always comes back to Rachel. Yeah. We have to talk. Okay, so wrapping this up. Thank you guys. Thank you to all of you who came. I guess I don't have to worry about downloading this and uploading it to YouTube. It'll be here. I really wish that my first live had some semblance of makeup attached to it, but that's okay. We're becoming comfortable in the skin that we're in. But I would love to go back on here for Rachel Hollis Live, because I think that pushing it over here moves it away from the TikTok audience that may be expecting more Britney content and whatever on my TikTok page. So if you guys are interested in that, will you let me know? And then we can set up a YouTube live on the Rachel Hollis stuff. I think that'd probably be a good idea. This is a great question. Who do you believe is running the Free Britney Live Twitter account? How are they the first to report so much correct insider information? I don't know. They said that they're revealing themselves soon. It's very interesting. They knew who was going to be resigned, when they were going to resign. Very interesting. I will say, I don't know if it was her. I assume it's a her. I don't know. I don't know if it was that account or not, but somebody did say that Jody Montgomery was resigning. And then she came out with a statement that was like, nope, not me. Yes to Rachel Hollis talk. Awesome. Okay. So I'll post it on TikTok, but we'll set it on live here. Let me set a time. Let me talk to Tim and set a time. Last question. If she's on this conservatorship and she's if she's on this conservatorship and she's considering non-consenting, how does that work in her relationship? I don't know. Blanca said your settings as child restricted. You can take it off so people can get a notification. Okay, you're gonna have to let me know how to do that because I don't know. Okay, I appreciate all of you jumping from TikTok to YouTube for my first live. I appreciate the patience. I appreciate the questions. I appreciate the interaction. You guys are amazing. For those of you who are watching this on replay, if you stuck around for this whole time and me trying to figure this all out, I appreciate you guys too. I'm not a YouTuber, so I don't like, subscribe, hit the follow button, ring the bell. Is that a good really put some effort into that one. Okay, I got this. Awesome. Okay, you guys, have an amazing night. You are welcome. You are welcome. I will talk to you guys soon.